First of all, I would like to say thank you to all the committee, the members of the examination. Ms. Deborah Nuraini is going to have the examination. We have lectures here. I would like to welcome Ibu Carla Cristina Cueros. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Carla. Yeah, for your time. Yes. And also I would like to welcome Ibu Feni Carolina, PhD. Yeah, Ibu Feni.
Yes, Bapak.
Yeah, and my colleague, Ibu Dr. Eni Enawati, yeah, already here also, and all students here who are participating and attending this examination. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite Ms. Deborah Nuraini to start the. No, before we start, I would like to say, to explain a little bit about this examination. This, Ibu Dr. Carla, this examination, we have already the proposal presentation, and before we come to this stage, we have done like, what you call it, pre-examination, yeah, like some kind of checking the preparation and also the completion of the thesis. Now we have already also some discussion with the the committee of the examination. Now, finally, we come to this stage. This is the final examination for thesis master degree in our faculty. We are very happy to have you here and also others here to attend this examination. The examination will take 3 parts. The first part is the presentation. A short presentation just to explain the main points of the research findings. And the second part will be the question and answers. And the last part will be the conclusion. Okay, Ms. Deborah, I would like to invite you to start your presentation. Please have your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Urai. I'll start with the share screen first. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my deepest gratitude and respect to the distinguished panel for attending my thesis defense today. I am honored and privileged to present my research titled The Effectiveness of Augmented Reality-Based Learning Media on the topic of the skeletal system in high school. Allow me to begin by extending my heartfelt thanks to my supervisor, who have provided invaluable guidance and support throughout my research journey, for Mr. Urai Salam, MPhil PhD, and Mrs. Dr. Eni Enawati, MSc. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the examiners for their time and effort in evaluating my thesis, for Professor Dr. Haji Aunur Rahman, MPD, for Dr. Feni Carolina, MA TESOL, and for Mem Carla Cristina Cueros, PhD. I'm eager to hear your feedback and suggestion. Before I start, I would like to explain that there are 3 goals that I'm going to explain for today. The first one is the profile of AR media by using AD model. And the second one is the effectiveness of AR media by knowing the pretest and post-test score. And the third one is students respond to AR by using technology acceptance model survey. Today, I will only just focus on explaining the background of the study, and then I will focus on research question and about how to analyze the research question, and only focus on discussing the result and what does it imply. Let me begin today's presentation with a comprehensive look at the background that lays the foundation for this research. So, the Merdeka curriculum is all about creative and engaging teaching method, like using advanced learning tools. It highlights the need to develop effective materials that keeps up with teach advancements. At Macedonia Christian High School, which is well known for its success at district and national levels, students are allowed to use smartphones for learning under supervision. With 86% of students having access to smartphone and reliable internet, the school is dedicated to providing high-quality education through technology and innovation. Many students find it's hard to visualize abstract concepts with traditional tools like textbooks or videos, especially in complex subjects like the skeletal system in biology. And here, augmented reality can make learning more immersive and engaging. It helps students understand better. Some of preliminary surveys and studies, such as by Amalia 2022 and Qui Malilalia 2017, shows that AR is effective in education. Therefore, developing AR-based learning media is really crucial for revolutionizing traditional teaching method for complex biological concepts. Augmented reality promises a more interactive, engaging, and effective learning environment. Now that we've established the background and the need for AR-based learning media in teaching the skeletal system, let's move on the core focus of this study. To guide this research and provide a clear direction, three research questions addresses the key aspect of this investigation. The first one is the profile. What is the profile of AR-based learning media for the skeletal system topic at the high school level? And the second one is effectiveness. What is the effectiveness of AR-based learning media for the skeletal system topic at the high school level? It will be measured by 3 points. The first one is the difference in pre-test and post-test using AR. The second one is the difference in pre-test and post-test using skeletal model. And the third one is the difference between post-test AR and post-test skeletal model. And the last one is students respond to AR. How do students respond to AR-based skeletal system learning media at the high school level? The first one is to what extent do students accept technology. The second one to the difference in gender responses using AR using time. And the third one is the difference in SAS background to AR using TAM. I will explain the operational definition because it is crucial to clarify the key term used in this study to ensure we share a common understanding. This section definition of terms will define the specific concept and variables involved in our research. The first one is learning media that I am talking in this research is skeletal system with AR base, where students can explore metaverse space to scan 3D objects. And the augmented reality here is the AR that can be triggered through marker scan, where students can use smartphone and they can scan the 3D object and it can be pop up. And it's compiled in the metaverse space and it can appear in real world. And the skeletal system is the biology materials in grade 11. The effectiveness will be assessed through the experimental and control group and acceptance of technology with TAM model. And the TAM model that I'm using here is the TAM model number 1. Next, to build a solid foundation for our research, it is important to review the existing literature related to this study. There are education technology area, learning media, augmented reality, and skeletal system. Therefore, the ideal condition should be that media has the capability to visualize abstract materials into something concrete and tangible. But in real condition, I found out that some of the teachers only explaining using oral materials, some of them only using PPT, and some of them only playing YouTube videos and employing posters. So I come up with the solution where the students really need three-dimensional media that is tangible and visible that can help them study biology. So the product is the augmented reality media in Metaverse. Next, I will explain about the research methodology. This study employs the research and development or R&D method. And the instructional system design in this study adopt the AD model based on system. The research methods employed in the study is quasi-experimental. The independent variables utilized is augmented reality-based learning media, while the dependent variables is the students' responses. I'll explain about the data analysis technique. So here, I'm only focusing on the 3 research questions. The first one is about what is the profile of AR. The data analysis technique is using AD-STEP, where expert validation assessment score will be measured. The second research question is is the effectiveness of AR. So here, I did normality test and homogeneity test. And for the research question number 2A and 2B, I did normal. If the data is normal, then I will use parametric test, which is parity test. And if the data is not normal, then I will use non-parametric test, which is Wilcoxon. And then for the research question number 2C, which is post-test AR and post-test skeletal model, if the data is not normal, then man-with-MIU will be conducted. After that, we will measure the effect size. And for the last research question, which is research question number three, how do students respond to AR? It will categorize into ASWAR using mean data and standard deviation. For the gender difference, if the data is normal, then I will use independent t-test, and if the data is not normal, then I will use man-with-MIU. And then we will examine effect size. For the socio-economic status difference, if the data is not normal, then we'll use man-with-MIU, and if the data is normal, then we'll use independent t-test. Okay, right now I will explain the research finding based on the 3 categories, which is profile, effectivity, and students' response. I'll start with the first research question, which is how is the profile of AR-based learning media? As I mentioned in the previous section before, that in this, to know the profile of AR, I did the AD-STEP, which is here, as you can see, it's, it's analyze, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. In the analysis step, need analysis is how to gather data on students' profile. In the design step, I determine the product type, and then after I determine, I design the product, and then I came up with the prototyping. Right after that, I develop the AR media, and then I do the expert review and validation to make sure that this product is really good and can be used in school. After that, I did the implementation step, which is I do with 2 groups, experiment group using AR and control group with skeletal model. And the evaluation will help by students' learning outcome and students respond by TAM survey. Let us move to the first step, which is analyze step. In the analysis stage, as you can see here, there are students' learning style and students' profile. From the table here, you can see that most of the students are kinesthetically learning style. Therefore, students need something that can help them to move and to learn a lot by student-centered. And from students' profile here, we can see that students said that technology really helped them to collaborate with friends. And also, 91.8% students already mentioned that they have basic skill in using digital technology, which means that we can integrate new technology into the study. And also, 89.8% students follow latest digital technology development. After the analysis step, we go to the design. And as you can see in this picture, I designed the AR learning media. The first step is I design the front page of the AR media, as you can see. And then I made the marker. In this marker here, you can scan it by your cameras or by your Google Lens. And then after that, I designed the first prototype. Where here, as you can see, this is the human skeletal system, which is labeled, where students can zoom in and zoom out. They can rotate the 3D model, and they can see the level of the augmented reality media. And it's not only built by the skeletal system, but also in human muscle. In human muscle, because it's still connected to the skeletal system theory, here human muscle will be used in the second meeting. After that, it can be scanned with the card as well, and here the augmented reality media can be popped up in real environment when students can point up wherever it is, whether it's in the classroom or outside. They can see the 3D model and they can learn immersively. And then all of that things, the skeletal system AR media will be published in the metaverse room, where students here can enter the meta room by using their avatar, and they can search the marker, and they can learn about the AR learning, the skeletal system. After I design all of this, I want to make sure whether this product is really good enough to be implemented in the school. Therefore, I conducted the development, which is the validity of the expert review. As you can see in this graph here, the content validation yield a mean score of 3.82. It indicates a favorable evaluation of the instructional materials, aligned with educational objective and relevance to the intent audience. Similarly, the validation of media with a mean score of 3.7 underscores the effectiveness of the media component in facilitating learning experiences and engagement. Furthermore, the design validation resulted in a mean score of 3.88, indicating a strong support for the overall design element and their suitability for instructional purpose. This collective finding suggests that the instructional materials have undergone rigorous evaluating by experts in content, media, and design domains, resulting in a high level of validity and quality. Therefore, this AR media can be implemented in high school. After the development step, I did the implementation, where here, as you can see in this picture, there are three meetings that I held in my research. The first meeting is where students did the pre-test, and this is the experiment group did the pre-test, and this is the control group. And then after that, this is the second meeting where students learn about skeletal system. In experiment group, they learn by using AR media, and in control group, they learn by skeletal system, as you can see in this picture here. And also for the third meeting, the experiment group learn about human muscles in meeting 3, and the control group using skeletal model. And in the last meeting, they did the experiment group using AR as well, and the control group still using a skeletal model. After that, I came up with the last step of AD, which is evaluation. And in the evaluation step, the students work in post-test, which is here, as you can see, this is experiment class, and this is for experiment and control class. Okay, to know the effectivity of AR, there are 4 stages that we did, which is to know the difference in pre-test and post-test learning outcome, and also to measure the end game, to know the post-test, and to measure the effect size. The first one is to measure the pre-test and post-test using AR and using skeletal model. To know the effectiveness of AR, the students are assessed through their pre-test and post-test score. And in this graph, you see here, it's to determine if there were significant variation in learning outcome before and after the implementation of AR-based learning media compared to the use of skeletal framework model. So when we look at the numbers, it turns out that the group of students who is using AR saw a big jump of their pre-test score, like a 49-point difference. And even after the test, there was still a 7-point difference. On the other hand, the skeletal framework really have the same score before and after. If you can see here in the graph, it's just 7-point difference for both. This basically tells us that the AR teach really helps students learn better compared to the skeletal framework model. I'm sorry. And then after that, I measure about the end gain score. For the end gain score, as you can see in graph here, it's pretty clear that the AR intervention did a better job at boosting learning outcome compared to just using the human skeletal model. The AR group had an average end-gain score about 83.09%, showing a big improvement in understanding or performance. Meanwhile, the control group using just the skeletal model only had an average end-gain score around 11.38%, which is a lot slower. So it's safe to say that the augmented reality approach really kick things up. So the effectiveness, the end-gain score is really different between the AR media and the skeletal media. Okay, let us move to the next part, which is to compare between post-test and post-test score of the students using augmented reality and the skeletal system model. As you can see in graph here, the result for the mean Whitney U test clearly show a big difference in how well students learn between the augmented reality group and the control group using skeletal model. The test gives us a solid statistic at 8, pointing a significant gap in learning outcome. Plus, when we look at the mean ranks, the AR group shows an average of 90.83, way higher than the control group, 21.63. This solidifies the idea that AR really boosts students' understanding of the skeletal system compared to the skeletal model. Last but not least, I will explain about students' response to augmented reality media using technology acceptance model. In graph here, this is the graph showing the mean perceived of usefulness of TAM aspect number 1, the first aspect of TAM. Looking at how students rate TAM aspect 1 across indicator 1 until 6 in graph, it's pretty clear that they are all on the same page. Scores of here's graph range from 3.62 until 3.85, showing they are feeling positive about how effective and useful augmented reality is in education. The responses were pretty consistent, with just a bit of variation in standard deviation, underlining the students agree on the benefit of AR. Overall, this finding shows that AR has the potential to make learning the skeletal system quicker, boost learning outcomes, and help develop future skills. Let's move to the second aspect, which is perceived ease of use. The data we've got from indicator 7 until indicator 10 from both second part of TAM, focusing on how easy AR is to use, giving us some cool insight into what students think about AR in education. With mean scores ranging from 3.7 until 3.85, it looks like students are feeling pretty positive about how easy it is to bring AR into their learning journey. They see AR is leveling up their learning experience, helping them remember stuff better, making learning more fun and interactive, and even boosting their motivation to learn. This finding really highlights how AR has the potential to make a big difference in education, creating a user-friendly and awesome learning vibes. Overall, it seems like students are totally down with the idea that using AR in their learning journey, which is great news for making learning experience even better. Next is the third aspect of TAM, which is behavioral intention of use. From the indicator 11 until indicator 15, or the third part of TAM survey, here we can see that mean score ranging from 4.5 until 4.25, and it's clearly that they are super keen on of using AR in the future. They will tell their friends about it and feeling satisfied with the AR experiences. They also down to keep using AR in future lessons and spread the word about its awesome feature. These findings really show that AR has potential to embrace widely as a super useful tool in making learning experiences better and sharing knowledge in education settings. Therefore, I came up with the conclusion here from students' response that when we look at the students' response in PAM survey, uh, students are totally into AR tech in education. Whether it's about how useful it is or how easy it is to use or their plans to keep using it, they're all on board. And on the graph you see in the screen, each the difference in response between male and female students using AR in their study. This section is comparing about how male and how female students perceive augmented reality learning tools using TAM survey. Overall, students showed positive attitude towards AR, with minor difference between gender, while males found AR slightly easier to use than female. Both genders had similarity intention to use AR for learning. This finding suggests that gender doesn't significantly influence students' perception of AR in education, indicating its potential as an effective learning tool for all. Next, the last part is about socio-economic status. To explore whether students' acceptance model of augmented reality learning media varies based on their socioeconomic status, students' responses divided into three socio-economic status categories. Pre-prosperity, which parents' income below 2.5 million Indonesian rupiahs per month. Moderate, with parents' income between 2.5 million Indonesian rupiahs and 5 million Indonesian rupiahs per month. And capable, which parents' income above 5 million Indonesian rupiahs per month. The data suggests that the students from higher income background tend to have slightly more positive perception of AR, but the differences are not significant. In summary, the analysis indicates that students' socioeconomic background do not significantly affect their acceptance of learning media. Despite minor variation in perception across SAS group, the overall trend suggests a positive inclination toward AR technology in education, with a high likelihood of successful implementation and utilization across diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. Therefore, the overall conclusion for all of this research is this finding of the study underscored the significant benefit of integrating AR-based learning media into biology education. The notable improvement in learning outcomes and high level of student acceptance highlight the potential of AR to provide an engaging and effective educational experience. The AR profile I've already explained, and the effectiveness have been explained before in the 4th chapter. Therefore, thank you so much for your kind attention, and I'm looking forward for the feedback. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hurai Salam. I think I've already explained. Thank you so much for all of the questions.
Thank you for your presentation, of your research. Now we come to proceed a question and answer session. I'd like to invite Dr. Carla Cristina Quiros. Please have your time.
Okay. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Thank you very much, Deborah, for your very clear, very well designed. I think we can understand that you are really studying educational technology. So your PowerPoint or the way you presented it is like you using all technology and new ways of digital technology that is informing our education systems now. Congratulations for that. After reading your thesis, and especially after listening to you, I find that it is a very clear research, very well designed, very focused, and especially very relevant for our context of development of education systems, not just for Indonesia, for your country, but I think what you developed can be applied to some other countries, and your research can be informing research, contributing to research in other countries. I have very few questions. I know you know the answers, and probably I wish you can give me a bit more explanations. First of all, is look at your figure on your conceptual framework, and I think we'll do a bit of interaction. I'll ask questions and give you space to answer.
Right. Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Better, so you don't feel stressed. It's a conversation. It's a dialogue that I want to feel a bit more clarified. On your conceptual framework, you have a diagram presented in page 64, if I'm not, 54, 64. So what I want to understand is this is a framework developed by yourself, not a framework developed by someone else. So you're not citing anyone. Is it yours?
Yes, that's mine, ma'am.
Okay. And in that framework, you highlight a bit of solutions. Did you use the solutions and the product you developed? You applied all the solutions you suggested in that framework?
Thank you for the question. Yes, I did that on my research for three-dimensional media. As you see in the design page of Eddie, it's skeletal system and muscle, three-dimensional.
Yeah.
And also it's tangible and visible, where students can see it, whether it's using marker scan or using scanning the environment, and also which is student-centered. Here it's really student-centered because students learn it by themselves, where they entered the metaverse room and they played something like a game, and then they try now to find the markers, and then after they find the markers, they scan it, and the 3D object will be pop up like that, and it's interactive. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you for your answer. My second question is in your page 31. It's part of your literature review that is really very thorough. It's really you presented more than 6 or 7 different concepts. But I'm looking at your definition of ADDIE, what you call ADDI. Okay, you put the disadvantage of that model, and you're writing 4 disadvantages. And one says that ADDIE may not emphasize social and cultural aspects in the development process. So there are some, when using such type of model, we have to be a bit more flexible, and it's one of the considerations. Nguza says it's less flexible than some other models. Why did you select this in particular?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I decided to use ADDIE. Actually, there are a lot of models, as we know, like Dick and Carey, 4D, and something else. But I decided to use ADDI because
ADDI.
Yeah, because the stage is really clear. I really like the stage, and it's really something that I can implement in education. As for me, as a teacher, where the first step is to analyze. In the analyze step, I can did some need analysis to know what is the need of the students, what is the need of the teachers, what is the problem in their school, and what is the problem in their learning outcome. And also in the design step, after I know the problem, then I came up with what is something that I can do. It's design step. And then
Yeah.
when I already know, like, oh, I need to build something like this. They need something like AR.
Mhm.
And then I came up with that. Oh, okay. We develop it. But it's not something only developing by myself, because we work with the expert validation. And there are 3 experts in this step, which is media, materials, and design. And it's to make sure this product is really good enough to be implemented in school. And if the product is really good enough, that it can be implemented in school in the I step, implementation step. Okay, in the implementation step, I teach like the normal class, but implementing the AR media. Right after that, I did some evaluation. So the main reason why I choose AD, because it's really clear, it's simple, but yet it's really detailed. The stages is really detailed, and I really like that. That's the main reason, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Very good answer. I have only 2 more questions, and very small.
Sure.
One after this, when you finish this type of work, this research, how do you feel? What were the most challenges you faced for implementing your research? From the beginning, we met a few months ago.
Yes.
You didn't started the practical implementation of your research, but what could be 2 main challenges you faced in implementing your research?
Okay, thank you, ma'am. The 2 main challenges that I experienced. The first one is it's really hard to conduct this research. Actually, like you mentioned before in our proposal seminar a few months ago, it's like a really big research that I have to finish in like 2 months, and then I have to do a lot like that. I have to make the AR media, and then I have to build it up, and then not only AR, but I have to make the metaverse, and then I have to make a lot of instruments, and then I have to teach it to the teachers, teach it to the students, and the students implementing it. I really find it hard to maintain my time and my energy like that. But at the end of this research, I'm really grateful that I can finish it really well, because I feel like I've been working really hard, and I gave my best potential to finish this research. Like when I look back, I have no regret at all. Like I can give a bright smile to Mr. Urai and Bu Eni, because as their as their students, I have finished my research really well, and based off all of my struggles, I'm really grateful that I can arrive at this step actually.
That's very interesting. Good. And finally, there's one issue that I think we rose this in your first, the first time we met, is the ethical considerations.
Oh yes.
You brought here photos of the different stages of your intervention when you were doing the pre-tests and post-tests. According to some research authors, it's good to not, because of confidentiality, it's better not to show the photos of maybe Dr. Veni Carolina can also explain, because it is, we can do privately, and my question is, did you ask permission to take the pictures? Is this consent? Did you get individual consent? Because they are high school students, probably they are minors. Did you ask for permission to take the pictures? And especially for public exhibition, like not for us, presenting to your supervisors and to us is okay, but don't do public presentations of people if they didn't give you authorization. But this is related to quantitative and qualitative research, Dr. Venen. Do you remember Tracy speaks a lot about that? And we have to be very careful, and not just Tracy, even Silverman. It's not, we have to respect confidentiality of our different authors, okay?
Yes, ma'am, I agree.
Yeah. So, but in the rest, I would really convey my congratulations, and this is one of the best thesis I've seen in my career. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's such an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Carla Cristina Queres. Thank you. I would like to appreciate
Let me pass the congratulations to your supervisor. So I think they all gave you such very good orientation, guidance, and probably your own effort. And
yes.
it's really good. Thank you.
For your information, the research conducted in schools, quite far away from the towns from here, but we still try to use AI and metaphors, things like this, just because the young generation are very enthusiastic with the technology right now.
Wow.
So we just kind of this is a good thesis. That's why we really hope to do more about this in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We all learning from that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite the next examiners, Prof. Anur Rahman.
Penny dulu tadi, Profnya Pak Urai, Prof Anur Rahman nanti.
Bu Penny.
Bu Penny dulu katanya tadi.
Bu Penny dulu, oke, Bu Penny, yes, Ibu Penny Carolina.
Yes, ya Pak. Oke.
Yes,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much for the chance. Considering what Bu Carla mentions about the concerns taking picture and then displaying pictures in the thesis, I do agree with Bu Carla said that we are not supposed to expose the pictures or the photos of the subject of participants if we don't get any consents or agreement from them beforehand. So make sure that whenever we put even the name of the institutes, the name of the participants, and let alone the face of the participants. So make sure that we got the agreement before, and usually the agreement is in form of like written expressions. I do agree that. Okay, so this is very what's that? Critical. I mean, a sensitive issue because we cannot assume that everyone agree that the face is publicly displayed in our writing, in our thesis. Okay, Bu Deborah, you talking about your thesis, you mentioned about your concept that you develop is about augmented reality. Care about augmented reality product that you have?
Sure, ma'am. I'll try to open it and share it. Share screen.
Yes, please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So here, this is the product that I've developing. This is, as you can see here in the picture, this is what we call AR media using the marker. And this marker can pop up the 3D object and students can interact with the object. And also, I'll just skip to the next part. So here, in this screen, you can see that the marker is scanned through the camera and the link will be pop up. And when you click the link, the 3D object will appear. You can click the view in 3D here and the 3D object will pop up. Students can zoom in and zoom out, and there's a label where students can learn about the anatomy of muscle and also the skeletal muscle. The skeletal system, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's the same when you point up your camera and you click up the link. It's the same with the marker that I put on my thesis. You can scan the camera to the marker and it will pop up the link. And this is what I call the markerless AR. As you can see, this is my office at my hometown in Landak district. As Pak Uray mentioned before, it's a small district, and here I try to pop up the AR media. This is the skeletal system, and the previous one is the muscle. And it can be zoom in and zoom out. The students can really see the structure of bone, the part of bone, and it can be rotated and it can be minimized or maximized. And it's not only in the room, but you can also point it uh, in the outside class of the classroom. Here, my students is present, and the 3D model is something that students can interact with like this. Students can see the muscle structure of human, and also students can see uh, the bones, the part of human's bone, where it can be rotating and minimize, zoom in, zoom out, and something like that. Uh, yes, and here last part, you can also put it on the ground, and students can learn and easily see and uh, interact with the AI object. I think that's it, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Budebo. This is very beautiful. If you were my biology teacher, I'm sure I would be very interested to learn biology. This is so good because you can zoom out a specific area of the part of body or skeleton so the students can understand and have a better view on a specific object. And of course, it may enhance their understanding on that specific material, right? Oh, Budebo, this is so good. Congratulations, well done. By the way, how long does it take to do this to make overall AR?
All the project MM. It's quite a lot of steps that I did. I think I spent like a month and a half maybe to develop until the final product is really appeared and finished.
Do you have like any questions to your students to get the constructive feedback from them about their opinion for the betterment of the product that you made?
Yes, I did. I did the students' responses a survey, and then from the survey, I collected their feedback. Most of my students mentioned that they've never have the experience to use that kind of AR before, and they are really excited. And it's not only can be used in biology actually, ma'am. It can be used for another subject like chemistry or mathematics. If you want to see about the 3D object like geometry, we can use that kind of AR. So it in advance it can be used for another subject as well.
Okay, you mentioned that you asked the students respond in terms of survey. Giving the explanations of whether they like it or not. Did you write that in your thesis?
Because it's like a lot. I put it in the last part of evaluation in students' responses.
Okay. Responses has nothing to do with the betterment of the product that you have. It's about how the perceive of easiness, the perceive of usefulness. I'm talking about the betterment, the product in the ADDIE steps. Did you mention that?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I feel I kind of missed, but I've already did the small group test and then the large group test, and then it's in the development stage of ADDIE.
Okay, Budebo.
Yes, ma'am.
I read that you have 3 major research questions. The first one is the development one, the second one is the experiment one, and the last one is survey. Okay, now we are talking about a survey. It's about the students' response or acceptance toward the technology that you applied in the class. Unfortunately, I didn't find any literatures that supporting your ideas about the response. You didn't mention that in your literature review.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't mention it. I'm sorry. Maybe I just missed or I really missed that part. But I admit that I didn't mention about some literature review about the students' response, especially on TAM. Like maybe on the perbaikan tes.
Okay.
I will put
So,
it.
okay, Ibu Debo, the quantitative study is to clarify the previous research, to clarify the relevant research in line with our current research. So, your study is clarifying whether students accept that technology or not. Okay, and then you support your ideas with the previous research. If you don't display if you didn't describe about student acceptance on the literature review, it's gonna be very hard for you to discuss your findings. You have some points in your findings, just put the ideas that you got in the findings into literature review. I got a little bit surprised when I found that in the literature review you have nothing talking about the response. What is meant by response? What is meant by acceptance? Why do you put ease of usefulness, is perceive of usefulness, perceive of easiness, and the last one's behavior, intentions, and doing that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So I do suggest you to include one more, subheading in relations to that, and also the gender differences in terms of students' acceptance. Is there any studies that mentions that gender give an impact on students' acceptance or people acceptance toward the use of technology? You this is a part of your research questions on your own, right? You study about gender differences, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
But in your literature review, you didn't mention that.
I think I'll put that in my thesis next after I finish this examination.
So this is not like final. This is not final. This is not technical.
Yes, ma'am. I will go back to you and do my review again.
You come back to your supervisor.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is not only for Bu Deborah, but also for other students, that whenever we develop our literature review, we develop that based on our research questions. So research questions is a guide for us to narrow down the scope of our research. So the scope of our research is stated in our literature review. Okay, Bu Debo didn't mention that. So this is like borderless literature review. There is no border. Okay. Bu Debo, however, despite the absence of literature review in relation to responses or what is it? Acceptance toward the use of technology
model.
Yeah, and then including the gender differences in relations to that, I do admit that your study is a really massive one. You have a big thing to cover. This is like for doctorate degree study, I guess. This is hard work. That's why it has a lot of pages. Even although you have a lot of pages here, but still you didn't cover the certain parts of your research questions. You know what? Because this is a big study.
Yes,
I can see that I can see you look tired. I think this is because the supervisors force you to do so.
No, that's not.
I'm kidding. Is that right, Pak Uray and Bu Eni? Pak Uray nodding. Pak Uray say yes. Okay. Pak Uray,
I don't know what are you talking about.
Okay, I think that's all. Pak Uray, I think I have already mentioned the input for Deborah for the betterment of the thesis. Once again, I would like to congratulate for Deborah. After this, you can have a nice sleep, Bu Deborah. Have relaxed for a while. Okay, thank you, Bapak Ibu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Ibu Feni.
Ya, terima kasih Bu Feni.
Yes, now we come to the next examiner, Bapak Prof. Nur Rahman. Please have your time, Bapak.
Thank you very much, Prof. Uray Salam. Excuse me, Miss Carla, I will talk in Indonesian speech.
Oh, okay. I can stay or I can leave, but it's really, I'm very excited. This is so important, what you have done. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll stay till the end. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. If you don't have any other activities, I think you can stay up to the end. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Stay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Silakan, Prof.
Terima kasih. Debo, congratulations ya.
Terima kasih.
Selamat atas perjuangan panjang sampai hari ini, dan kepada pembimbing Pak Uray dan Bu Eni dan Bu Penny yang telah berkontribusi ya. Saya pikir ini sudah semuanya ditanyakan kali ya. Mungkin ini dialog terakhir kita untuk tesis. Saya ingin mendengarkan kembali pernyataan Bu Debo ini tentang teknologi pendidikan ya. Jadi kita ini kan memikul misi untuk mensukseskan misi dari teknologi pendidikan. Nah, semoga saja teknologi itu tidak diartikan separuh dari yang kita harapkan, ya kan? Jadi dalam benaknya Bu Debo ini sebetulnya teknologi pendidikan itu memegang misi apa terutama terkait pembelajaran lah. Apa yang diharapkan oleh kita dalam pandangan teknologi pendidikan. Pembelajaran macam apa begitulah kira-kira. Coba mungkin bisa dijelaskan sedikit.
Baik, terima kasih Prof. Setelah melalui proses perkuliahan yang sangat panjang selama 2 tahun dan juga banyak sekali dibimbing oleh dosen-dosen yang hebat di TP, sebenarnya sidang hari ini saya cukup sedih juga karena ini hari terakhir saya bisa I'm sorry. Maybe I will speak in English in order to let Ma'am Carla know what my heart really is.
Yes, you can, of course.
Actually, I'm a little bit sad for this afternoon because I know that this is my final examination and I've been learned a lot from all of my lecturer and I've got a lot of good experience in Unpan actually. I met a lot of good professors and lecturers, and they really taught me a lot. Like I couldn't do more because if the lecturers not support me and believe in my potential, like before, I really don't believe in myself. Actually, I think that I'm just like okay, I will just study like regular people, just get my degree like that. But some of the lecturers meet me and really taught me a lot like that. So talking about technology educational, like Prof. Nur Rahman asked me before, I think learning technology is not only about learning how to make the technology really well or good. It's not about how smart you are in the classroom or how smart you are teaching the students, but it's more about how can we as a person can touch the student's heart. It's really about. I really like the term of teach. The lecturer in my previous university taught me about teach. T stands for touch. E, eternity. A, and C, change. H, heart. So teach is touch eternity and change heart. I really like that term because teaching In my opinion, teaching and knowing about educational technology is not about how is the level of my cognitive, but it's more about how can I really develop my self-esteem, my self-belief, and my focus on doing something, and how can I really giving my best in everything that I do, in my learning, in the university, in my act as my teacher, and really love what I do when I meet my lecturer, when I meet my students, and everything else. So, last but not least, thank you so much for all of the experience, especially for my lecturer in this room. I'm a big fan of my lecturer in Untan, and I'm gonna miss my lecturer anyway. Thank you, Prof. Aunan.
Sip.
If we could listen to our applauses, yeah. Good luck in your life, your career.
Yeah.
Take this to a PhD level. What you have is really relevant.
I
You
wish.
can show it to the world. Okay.
Actually, when we listen to Deborah cry, it's just like a big relief.
It is.
Is it right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Crying is good, Vanny. Crying is good. Yeah.
Iya.
Lot of applauses. Yeah.
Baik,
Okay.
itu harapan kita memang begitu. Jadi tidak hanya berorientasi pada kognitif ya. Jadi bagaimana teknologi itu memberi sumbangan atau justru menjadi trigger untuk tumbuhnya semangat, ya kan? Kolaborasi, kerjasama, kemudian kesungguhan mereka untuk belajar. Jadi aspek-aspek yang berkenaan dengan soft skill itu mesti tersentuh oleh teknologi kan gitu. Nah, meskipun hari ini Bu Debo mengujinya pada kawasan kognitif, mungkin pada kawasan kognitif ya. Tapi sesungguhnya kita ingin agar efektivitas itu juga dilihat dari dimensi-dimensi soft skill-nya, walaupun dia nilainya bagus, tapi ketika dia tidak menaruh perhatian yang baik pada guru, pada teman sebaya, kemudian tidak berempati, misalkan begitu ya. Nah, menurut saya itu adalah hal-hal yang justru lebih memprihatinkan dibandingkan dengan sekedar memperoleh nilai kognitif. Nah, inilah misi dari teknologi pendidikan sesungguhnya. Nah, kalau sudah sampai ke situ, saya kira semuanya sudah terangkum ya.
Iya, Prof.
Barangkali saya ingin membuat itu saja bahwa kesan yang terakhir bahwa TP pada akhirnya berperan untuk memudahkan orang belajar,
Amin, Prof.
yang tidak lama lagi sudah siap untuk di launching di FKIP ya Bu Feni ya. Oke. Thank you very much Bu Eni, Bu Debo dan Miss Carla, Bu Feni dan kita semua. Thank you.
Ya, makasih Prof. Anur. Pak Prof. Afnur Rahman, terima kasih atas pembelajarannya ya tadi ya untuk Deborah ya, bagaimana itu teknologi itu bisa berperan gitu ya. Nah, mungkin selanjutnya Pak Urai, gimana Pak Urai? Pak Urai lagi ada kegiatan ya. Ya, saya rasa Pak Urai lagi ada apa ya? Gimana Bu Feni?
Saya barusan kirim nilai ke Ibu.
Oh iya.
For Carla, could you please pass to me the score for Ibu Deborah, please?
Remember me, it's from 0 to 20 or it was 100?
I will contact you via WhatsApp.
Or send to via WhatsApp,
Yes.
please. For me, top.
Bu Eni, saya sudah kirim ya Bu Eni.
Prof, ya.
Okay, is it done now?
Bapak, now we are sending our
Ya
score
Pak
to
Urai,
Eni.
saya lagi jumlahkan skornya ya Pak Urai, sebentar saya kirim.
Silakan Bu. Ya.
You mentioned something? Something good
Yeah.
for Bu Deborah. Please say something.
Yeah.
You can mention that while waiting
Please,
for Bu Eni.
I am, after this, I'm very emotional too, as well as you, Deborah. And I would like you to share your email address, and Professor Urai, Dr. Veni, will do a presentation of her thesis to our students. We have IT for finances.
Wow.
And we wish we can give, just like the presentation you did here today, I'll find the translator because our students speak Portuguese.
Pak
We
Urai,
will do
sudah
a
saya kasih
presentation
nilainya
to
Pak
our
Urai.
students.
Halo, Pak Urai.
Please do the visualization and all. Oh, excellent. And we'll try to show to them how we apply technologies into education processes. Okay?
Thank you.
That's it. I will make arrangements for the dates and I'll let you know, and you will have very correctly. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's really great honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Carla, for your appreciation. Yeah, we'd like to have that one, so to see also your students. Yeah, we hope that we can do more cooperation, do things together. Yeah, in the
Sure.
near future.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So
we will.
yeah, I would like to announce the score. The final score is 97. Thank you very much for all your generosity for this, and congratulations, Deborah Nuraini. You have achieved almost 100%. You know? Perhaps this is the first time also in our department. Yeah, I would like to to say once again to our guest examiner, Ibu Dr. Carla Christian Cueres. That's also our first experience to have the external examiners. And it is very important in our parts, not only to expose to the student, to give the student opportunity to experience, something different, something outside from our institution, from Indonesia, so then we can share our knowledge, our students' achievement, things like that. But also, I think it's become the one that's, particularly in Indonesia, we always hope to have something like this collaboration, yeah, because collaboration always become our target and appreciation from the government. So we want to reach more farther to have some friends, some collaboration. So we hope to have. I do hope that perhaps Ibu Carla have other connection, other lecturers that share our interests, that we could have some collaboration in research activities. We are very happy to have that one too. We hope that some of lectures perhaps that you in your networks that share our interests that we can initiate. Now, by using technology right now, it is very much possible for us to do, even though you are far away from us in Africa and we are in Asia, you are in the morning and we are in the afternoon, but still we can congregate here with the privilege of technology. Congratulations, Deborah, once again. So that's, I think, the end of our examination. So before we close, do you have anything to say, Deborah? Do you have anything to say before we close?
Yes, because this is my last examination. Thank you so much for believing in my potential, especially for all of my lecturers. Thank you so much for Ma'am Carla as well. I am really honored to have you as my examiner and also for the new opportunity. I hope I can help a lot. Thank you so much and God bless us all.
Yeah. Ibu Eni?
Ya, saya rasa udah cukup banyak, Pak.
Oke.
Deborah, selamat ya Deborah, sudah sampai kongres ya. Sudah sampai tahap ini.
Yeah. Prof. Ono, do you have something?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Excellent lah, pokoknya excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Once again, thank you once again, Ibu Carla.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again. Yeah. So I'd like to declare that this examination officially closed.
Pak Aunur, Pak Urai, Pak Carla.
Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Pak Urai.
Together.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Ma'am Carla.
Bye, Deborah.
Bye.
See you soon. Okay.
Yes, of course. Thank you, ma'am. Terima kasih, Prof. Terima kasih, Pak.
Terima kasih. Selamat.
Ya. Siap-siap kita presentasi lagi tuh.
Iya, Pak. Tidak menyangka.
Ya.
Terima kasih, Pak, untuk bimbingan dan kepercayaannya.
Oke, ya. Semoga nanti mahasiswa yang lain bisa menyusul ya. Saya ingin kita siapa tuh? Nah, kita ke depannya saya ingin mengundang beberapa dosen lagi yang ingin bergabung ke TP. Jadi mudah-mudahan ke depannya kita ada kesempatan untuk bisa melakukan ujian seperti ini lagi. Siapa tahu kan kita jadi bisa pembicara di International Conference nanti one day ya. Oke.
Iya, Pak. Ya.
Oke. Saya tutup ya. Bye-bye. See you again.
Terima kasih, Pak.
Karen, Kak.
Selamat, Debo.
Selamat, Bu Debo.
Good job.
Terima kasih, pagi.
Supporternya banyak tuh.
Siapa lagi? Mereka nih, masalah.
Ngomong bahasa Inggris. Rame supporternya. Ramai.
Ya, dah ya. Capek, boy. Oh, mereka mau masuk itu. Boy, tolong Half Team channel. Half Team on. Hai. Hai semuanya.
Oh, Pak Prima.
Itu suaminya.
Oh.
Selamat semuanya.
Terima kasih.
Selamat Pak. Emang supporternya luar biasa.
Asli.
Ya kalau yang tampil dari Landak tuh supporter banyak Pak. Benar.
Jauh lagi datang kan dari Menjalin tuh.
Nongkrong di Hawaii nanti, Pak.
Oh, siap, siap.
Terima kasih
Sorry, nggak
semua.
bisa on cam, soalnya lagi bermasalah laptop.
Oke.
Putus-putus nih suara dengar nih, aduh.
Bohong. Kami perayaan loh ya, nikmatin.
Lagi
loh.
pada pesawat di sini ramai.
Pak.
Deborah, Nuraini, SPD, MPD, PSD, Pak.
Apa?
Halo.
Halo. Rupanya jadi supporter juga di situ ya.
Mereka baru datang dari sore ini dong, bayangkan.
Selamat ya Bu Debo.
Jam berapa tadi? Jam 4 baru datang.
Ujian internasional ini.
Supporter spesial dari London.